A news hour tonight. Adeleke extends 24-hour curfew to Osun over renewed communal clashes. Ex-President Jonathan weighs in on Rivers crisis, calls for stability. Low patronage ahead of Eid dampens local economy in Kano. On the international scene, Sudan army retakes central bank after palace recapture. Good evening, welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Chiamaka Wanfo. As a communal clash between Ifo and Ilobu towns in Osun State extends to Erin town, the state governor, Demola Adeleke, has upscaled the curfew to 24 hours. While some residents of the towns are seeking refuge in uncompleted building and mosque in the neighboring community, others said they are relocating to Kano State. Hamidu Egwade files in the report.
The bloody fight between Ifon and Ilobu towns in Osun State, which started during the week, has not subsided. Though officials are yet to release the exact number of casualties, residents said many people were killed while property worth billions of naira were destroyed. As the fight extends to Osun town, the state government has upscaled the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew to 24 hours and also extended the curfew to Osun.
This fighting is too far, it's too high, it's too much. They kill person too much. So many people, they go hospital. This something they sell it. They sell what do they call bitter cola. The people they sell bitter cola and watermelon and everything, all done to no good.
Residents who are displaced are seeking refuge inside mosques and uncompleted buildings around Okene, while others relocated to Osogbo, the state capital. Meanwhile, some of the residents who are northerners said they are relocating to Kano State. Peace be upon you all, Muslim Huma. Please help us with prayers. I am Bala, an indigene of Kano, Bagwai local government, presently in Osun State. As a result of this crisis, they have burnt all the belongings of one of our friends. So, right now, we are gathering our properties to leave. We need 5 buses to take us back to Kano State, but right now, we have only 4. Currently, they are burning and killing people. Please, Muslim brothers, pray for us to arrive home safely. We had planned to travel home for Salah, but this crisis has forced us to start living now. We pray for safe journey. We come from Erin to Okene, and from here, we will move to Kano State. A community leader from Ifon town explained the cause of the latest fighting, lamenting that the state government was treating the matter with levity.
So after the government declared the Opapa zone as a buffer zone, Ilobu people still went ahead to start developing the place and named it Olaniyan Estate and doing work daily. We complained to the state government, to the office of AIG, Assistant Inspector General of Police, and even the Commissioner of Police, and nobody do anything. Still, the work is ongoing. Now, Ilobu later went to Ifon again and burned private house of Olufon. That was what escalated the problem.
Meanwhile, the Osun State Police Command says the situation is under control. Amid Oyegbade reporting for Trust TV.
Still in Osun State, the chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC has called on President Tinubu to intervene in the ongoing communal clashes between Ifon and Ilobu communities. The crisis, which started late on Thursday night, has resulted in significant loss of lives and properties worth millions of naira. In a statement released on Friday and signed by Kola Olabisi, Director of Media and Information, the party criticized Governor Ademola Adeleke's handling of the crisis, describing his administration as lacking the political will to end the conflict, which has occurred 8 times in the last 18 months. According to the ABC, the clashes have claimed at least 30 lives, with numerous houses, shops and vehicles set ablaze. The party also reported that a former councillor was among the casualties, while the wife of the Olubo of Ilobu, Olori Bola, lost her shop to the violence. The APC alleged that key figures within Governor Adeleke's administration have ties to criminal activities, making it difficult for the state government to restore order. Joining us via phone call is our reporter in the state, Hamido Yebade, to give us an update on the situation of the affected local government. Good evening, Mr. Yebade. Thank you for joining us on News Hour tonight.
Good evening.
Can you give us an update on the situation?
Well, the situation seems complicated between yesterday evening and this morning. Particularly with the involvement of the Erin community. The crisis from time was between Ifon and Ilobu, but now Erin has joined, so we do not really understand what warranted the joining by the Erin. So, but from what I heard this morning, Erin is now supporting Ifon against Ilobu. That was what I gathered this morning. So, the situation at the moment is that the crisis has not really subsided. There are still violence in the affected area. And this morning when I spoke with one of the community leaders, so it confirmed that the recent or the latest crisis was as a result of the fact that the particular controversial or the contentious land that they are fighting over, after the state government declared that land as a buffer zone and warned all the communities including Ifon and Ilobu, to stay away from that particular land. He said the people of Ilobu are still carrying out construction work on that same land, that they are developing an estate named after the traditional ruler of Ilobu, that the work is still ongoing on that land. So he said that the people of Ifon severally reported to the state government that the people of Ilobu are still developing, the area, the land, that government did not do anything. So he added that just 2 days ago that the private residence of the traditional ruler of Ifon was burnt down. So it was like some of these things actually prompted the latest crisis, I think, which started during the week. So the situation now is that people are running away from those affected towns. Most people now move to Osogbo, the state capital, while some other people stay around the neighboring communities like Okene. So some people stayed in some mosque, while some other people are staying in some uncompleted buildings. People just manage anywhere they can find space. But the important thing is people, most people, majority of people left those communities are trying to be in safe areas. So I spoke with some people who told me that they are moving to Kano, that they are from Kano and that they are going back home as a result of this crisis. So that's the latest development. But police is insisting that the situation is under control.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Igbade, for that update on the situation in Osun State. Please stay safe. Now moving to other stories, a faction of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE Osun State, has called on the local government workers to resume work in the interest of the general public and local government workers. The faction described the protracted withdrawal of services by workers as the height of irresponsibility and sheer wickedness, noting that grounding local government services subjects members of the public to unnecessary hardship with denial of basic government services. The local government workers, under the auspices of the Association of Concerned Local Government Staff in Osun State, said the local government employees cannot continue to be denied the monetary and career privileges over needless withdrawal of services. State coordinator of the faction, Adedayo Adekunle, and Secretary Akin Adepoju, during a press conference held at the correspondent chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ Oshobo, accused the Osun LULGE president Natelo Ogungbangbe of nepotism and flagrant disobedience to the constitution of NULGE, especially in respect to the withdrawal of services.
NULGE is apolitical, and we cannot be dragged to any political issue to the extent of instituting a case against a party that is contention over the control of local government administration in Osun State. We therefore state equivocally that the said litigation is in personal capacity of Dr. Nathaniel Ogungbangbe. Our oath, culture, philosophy are to serve all government legally, in power. And if it is APC today or PDP tomorrow, our business is public service delivery, not any political party in power.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan has criticized the suspension of elected officials in Rivers State by President Bola Tinubu, saying the move is capable of denting the country's image. While speaking as chairman of the Husky Setumari Foundation colloquium in Abuja on Saturday, Jonathan said he was disappointed that elected officials had been removed. His stance comes days after President Tinubu declared a state of emergency in the oil-rich South state and then suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the State House Assembly for 6 months. He said the decision was taken to restore stability in the state that has been witnessing political turmoil as a result of the disagreement between the state governor and the state lawmakers.
And of course, what is happening in Nigeria today regarding the situation in Rivers State is like an Indian proverb that said that if somebody is sleeping, really sleeping, you can easily wake up that person. But if the person is pretending to sleep, you find it difficult to wake up that person. The key actors in Nigeria, from executive to the legislature, luckily Senator Binta and others are here, and the judiciary, they know the correct thing to do. But they are refusing to do it. They are pretending to sleep. And waking such a person is extremely difficult because the person knows the right thing. The clear abuse of offices, clear abuse of power, clear abuse of privileges, cutting across from the three arms of government, from the executive to the parliament to the judiciary. And I always plead with our people that whatever we do affects everybody.
The Nigerian Governors Forum has said it cannot take a position on President Bola Tinubu's state of emergency in Rivers State, emphasizing its role as a platform for promoting unified policies and collaborating for sustainable socio-economic growth. In a statement on Saturday, NGF's Director General Abdulateef Shitu said that taking positions on divisive partisan issues, regardless of how it's phrased, reflects a poor understanding of history. The NGF urged the public and media to be understanding, expressing confidence that the right platforms and crisis management measures would address any such issues. Still staying with Rivers State, the Sole Administrator, Ibok Ete Ibas, has urged the contractor handling the State Assembly Complex project to speed up work and deliver it as agreed in the contract agreement. administrator gave the charge when he inspected the ongoing reconstruction of the new assembly complex located along Muscal Road in Port Harcourt local government area on Saturday. The retired naval chief noted that part of his mandate included restoring full and effective legislative activities in the state. The contract awarded to Merner Construction Company, MCC Limited, has advanced commendably on the project that has about 34 en-suite offices on a two-story building with an elevator, gallery, meeting rooms and conference hall. The sole administrator explained that in the last 2 days of the assumption of duties, he had noticed a missing pillar in the state governor's structure, adding that he is determined to ensure that there is a place for effective legislative activities after 6 months.
I was appointed in the first place to be here to maintain law and order that will enable us go back to what the state is supposed to be. In the last 2 days, you're also aware that I had been at the executive arm of the state governance structure, and one of the pillars that is missing for now is the legislature, and for them to function effectively, they also need a place to work from. Perhaps I'm here to be sure that work is going on as expected, so that by the end of the 6 months, this place will be ready for those who need to use it. I think basically that's what it is.
The House of Representatives has refuted trending allegations that each member was induced with as much as $5,000 to ratify President Bola Tinubu's request on the state of emergency declaration in Rivers State. Deputy spokesman of the House, Philip Agbese, while responding to the issue in an interview with journalists in Abuja on Saturday, described the allegation as false, malicious and emanating from the pit of hell. Agbese said that Thursday's resolution of the House on the state of emergency declaration in Rivers was done out of patriotism and in the interest of restoring lasting peace to Rivers State. Agbese added that as members of Parliament interested in the peace and well-being of the people of Rivers State, they approved the state of emergency declaration out of patriotism and not for any pecuniary consideration as been alleged. He further said that Parliament, in its wisdom, made some key adjustments to the President's emergency proclamation before ratifying it. Agbese said he believes that President Bola Tinubu, as a true Democrat, will not work against democratic institutions in the country. A federal high court sitting in Lokoja, the state capital of Kogi, has set aside an earlier ruling that restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from receiving the recall process initiated by constituents of Kogi Central Senatorial District against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduahan. The Federal High Court, in a landmark judgment delivered in Lokoja on Friday, affirmed that the recall process is constitutionally valid and aligns with the civic rights of the constituents. The court urged the constituents to continue exercising their rights in an orderly and peaceful manner. The development came after the court on Thursday granted an interim injunction restraining INEC, its staff, agents, previous or assigns from receiving, accepting or acting on any petition containing signatures of members of Kogi Central Senatorial District. The court also stopped INEC from conducting any referendum upon such petition for the purpose of initiating a recall process of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduahan as Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, pending determination of the motion or notice to the same effect. The court granted the application following an ex parte application for interim supported by an affidavit by extreme urgency together with other court processes sworn to by Anebe Jacob Ogirima for himself and 4 others who are registered voters and constituents of Kogi Senatorial District of Kogi State. The case has been adjourned to May 6, 2025 for further mentioning. For many, the silent period is not just a time to celebrate successful completion of Ramadan fast, but also an opportunity to make brisk business. At the Korofo Wumbai market in Kano State, while major shoe dealers are dealing with rising prices of raw materials and low patronage, some young men and women who could be termed seasonal shoemakers are using the period to make some quick cash for themselves. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim has more.
With barely a week to the Salah celebration that signaled the end to the Ramadan fast, the hustle and bustle at Kano's popular Kofar Wambai market has started. The market has long been the go-to destination for many residents, especially women searching for brand new shoes for the festivities. Traders and wholesale shoemakers usually witness a surge in sales as Salah approaches. But according to Walid Muhammad, this year things seem different. Usually, once the fasting period gets to about the 15th day, customers begin to disturb us with orders. But this year, it's different. The orders are coming in slower than usual. Despite the lull in business, Walid reveals that while shoemakers and traders in the market are trying to make ends meet, many young people, especially women, are finding creative ways to make money during this Salah period. Right now, women are even more involved than men, so I feel the government needs to help them increase their capacity through grants and other forms of assistance. Some of these young women, like Fatima and her sister Fauziya, travel from suburban areas to the city to take advantage of the high demand for shoes in their neighborhoods to earn money.
The Salah period is a time to make money. I make shoes, and this one right here cost about 7,000 naira. This is a way for me to support myself during the Salah period. I buy all the materials here in this market and then assemble the shoes before heading back home. We take them home and people come to buy.
For Husseina, this is the first time she is going into this venture.
I'm always impressed seeing others in one craft or the other. So I decided to take it up this Salah period to enable me make some money myself. I believe in learning new skills, and this is the perfect opportunity for me.
Despite the drop in patronage, there are still a variety of shoes to choose from in Kofar Wambai, ranging from casual slippers to high-end designs. However, the challenges faced by traders like Ibrahim Dambaba are becoming more apparent. Some of the shoes we sell here are bought from Aba, while some very good quality shoes are also made right here in Kofar Wambai. But like every other business, the increase in the price of materials has affected us. Transportation costs are higher than ever before, and we are feeling the pain. Things are tough, and business is slower, not just because of the lull in demand, but because the cost of materials have gone up, and with the transportation costs higher than ever before, it's making it hard for many of us to keep up with the demand. While the challenges may be greater this year, an example of the spirit of hard work and resilience is seen in the hustle and bustle of these young people. For now, residents continue to shop, trade, and prepare for the Salah celebrations. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
You're still on to News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Officials in Kano warn of public health risk due to poor storage practices. More when we return. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. We told you that Adeleke, that's Governor Adeleke, extends 24-hour curfew to Osun over renewed communal clashes. We also told you that ex-President Goodluck Jonathan weighs in on Rivers crisis, calls for stability. Two more stories. Motorists in Abuja are raising alarm over what they describe as relentless extortion and harassment by officials of the Abuja Municipal Area Council, who are tasked with issuing vehicular receipts in the Federal Capital Territory. Many drivers, especially commercial operators, say they are forced to pay exorbitant fees, yet still face intimidation or even physical assault on the roads. Chiamaka Nweke has more in this report.
Motorists in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, are calling on the government to rein in the activities of the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, officials responsible for issuing vehicular receipts. They alleged that instead of ensuring order, these officials have turned the roads into a battleground for extortion and intimidation. Commercial drivers, who bear the brunt of these accusations, complain of exorbitant fees for vehicle receipts, fees that do not even shield them from further harassment. Many say Amak officers continue to stop them arbitrarily, demanding additional payments on the various pretexts.
I think harassing is understatement because it looks as if FCT now is a lawless city. Before the coming of this present administration, Amak paper was between 10,000, 11,000, 12,000. That was 2023. But immediately this government came in, it's skyrocketed from 12,000 to 30,000. That was last year. And it's not everybody that can afford that 30,000 at a go. And it's not something you pay instrumentally. Then, this year, from 30,000 to 50,000 naira.
For some motorists, the situation is far worse. One driver narrated how Amak officials allegedly uses weapons to attack those who refuse to comply with their demands. He described the experience as a brazen display of lawlessness, where innocent road users are swindled in broad daylight.
The problem we are facing in this Abuja mainly is just task force people, like Amak and some other task forces that is stopping in the streets, even in the road. Okay, especially if we say that we have a local government as Amak to represent Abuja constituency, I believe that the work of Amak, they are supposed to, the revenue generation is from people who trade, who do business, bringing ticket to those people, they will cut ticket at least to survive the people that to support the road or some things within the villages that don't have anything. But today we see that the Amak work has become a very terrible work, become like a police or a soldier work.
While Amak's mandate primarily covers commercial vehicles, private car owners are also being dragged into the chaos.
Joint security operatives in Anambra State have rescued 3 persons kidnapped along the Onitsha-Owerri Expressway in Ozubolo, the Kusigo local government area of the state. A statement by the State Police Command's Public Relations Officer SP Tochukwu Ikenga disclosed that the victims were rescued on Saturday morning. According to the statement, the victims were rushed to the hospital by the joint security team following various degrees of injury already inflicted on them by their abductors. It added that they are currently responding to treatment and shall subsequently be debriefed by the police. Civil society organizations, CSOs, have called for urgent reforms in Nigeria's policing approach to mass protest. Following the heavy-handed response to the 2024 nationwide demonstrations, the protest dubbed #EndBadGovernance Movement or Hunger Protest swept across 35 states from August 1 to August 10, highlighting deep-seated frustrations with governance and economic hardship. Briefing the media in Kaduna, the civil societies criticized the conduct of law enforcement agencies, citing excessive force, arbitrary arrests, and attacks on journalists. Here's more in this report.
Recall that during the hunger protest, security forces allegedly deployed various levels of force, including tear gas and live ammunition, resulting in 23 confirmed deaths, mostly in northern states like Niger, Kano, and Kaduna. The civil society groups noted that while some officers upheld professionalism, others engaged in human rights violations that must not be overlooked, while stating that the right to peaceful assembly is enshrined in Section 35 to 40 of the 1999 Constitution. The groups noting that law enforcement officers should facilitate protest, not suppress protesters.
And we noticed very clearly for the very first time that particularly police charged with the responsibility for internal security responded with some level of professionalism in the way and manner they handled the event. But there are also wider security concerns from personnel from other sister security agencies who also felt that the response to crowd management and control was actually meant to be used or responded with lethal force. And we felt that these are some of the elements that we need to deal with.
The civil society groups also frowned at the conduct of some of the protesters that led to violence.
Protests should not involve looting, or beating, or maiming, or attacking individuals. It's like we are still punishing ourselves.
And to ensure that whatever it is that we do in good faith, once we follow the set down rules and order, it's very difficult, extremely difficult for government to have its way.
The group asserted that law enforcement should not treat all protesters as threats, but instead focus on individuals engaging in violence or destruction, adding that strategic communication between security agencies and protest organizers is crucial to the escalating tensions.
So now we should concentrate on the public, that even if we need to riot, even if we need to air our grievance, we should do it according to the law.
A lot of what was done and those arrested are the public, minors, who don't even know what the law says.
Actions is very important, conduct are very key, and this should be directed towards only those individuals displaying harmful behavior, and that in itself is something that we believe can help manage the situation.
Meanwhile, CSOs have recommended that officers adopt a proportional response to protest, ensuring that enforcement actions match the mood and behavior of demonstrators. Beyond that, they want the Police Service Commission to enforce disciplinary measures against officers found guilty of misconduct, warning that without accountability, CSOs trust in law enforcement will continue to erode, fueling further civil unrest. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
On health matters, we start with Kebbi State, where the management of the University of Science and Technology, Aliero, has confirmed the death of 6 students due to an outbreak of cerebrospinal meningitis. In a statement made available on Saturday, the university's public relations officer, Mustafa Ango, conveyed the institution's sorrow over the tragic loss. He, on behalf of the management, extended heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased students, stating that the Vice-Chancellor, B.G. Denchehu, was deeply saddened by the unfortunate incident. He explained that several critical measures have been implemented to control the situation, including enhanced medical support, sanitation and preventative efforts, as well as health awareness and immunization in collaboration with WHO, UNICEF and MSF. The university management, however, reassured parents, guardians and the public of its unwavering commitment to safeguarding student welfare. Over in Gombe State, the Federal Teaching Hospital says it's now offering free dialysis sessions for patients suffering from kidney diseases. The initiative, according to the hospital, aims to alleviate the burden on patients who face financial difficulties accessing treatment. Hassan Kohli has more.
Despite not being one of the centers selected by the federal government for subsidized sessions, the hospital is collaborating with a lawmaker to offer free sessions with the aim of ensuring that patients from both within and outside the country benefit.
So we decided to keep it indoor. Now, when we started, patients came from outside Gombe and they were all attended to. Now, during the first month evaluation, we have attended to over 300 patients that came from different states, not only in the northeastern part of this country, also outside the northeastern part of this country, patients came and they received the treatment free of charge.
Despite the generous offer, the number of patients utilizing the service has seen a decrease in recent times, an indication that the kidney diseases are curable.
So the World Health Organization recommends that patients with kidney disease should be dialyzed 3 times in a week. But with the issue of money and finances, is very difficult for patients to be dialyzed as recommended by World Health Organization. But we are happy. Good Samaritan, philanthropists and well-to-do individuals have helped in sponsoring the hemodialysis, the free hemodialysis in this center. We are happy that patients come here to be dialyzed freely without money. But even at that, we still have challenges because some cannot afford transport from their home to the unit.
So the number of
of patients coming down with kidney disease is of increase. So we are calling for the community to look at the possible ways of modifying their lifestyle. Modification of lifestyle is of very great importance in in prevention of kidney diseases. Particularly the diet we eat. We should do as much as we can to minimize or moderate the amount of salt we do take in our diets. We should modify, not consistent salt we should be eating. We should at least reduce the amount of salt we have been eating in our diets. And water, we should take water adequately. No matter how, particularly in this hot weather, we need water because kidney is water friendly. It needs inadequate fluids, either water, pap, or whatsoever.
While transport fees remain a concern for some patients, the chairman also stressed the importance of preventative measures. He suggested that people take more responsibility for their health by adopting healthier lifestyles to reduce the risks of kidney diseases in the first place. Some beneficiaries of the services highlighted the impact it has on their well-being.
The person who sponsors the dialysis, may God bless him more and more, because he has saved, from my time, now I'm spending more than 3 months on this dialysis. And it is a belief from that time to this time, for this period of 3 months that I have been in dialysis, a lot of life have been saved. A lot of life. I cannot count it. But life have been saved. So if not for him assisting us financially to see that our life is safe, we could have not been where we are today.
While the Federal Teaching Hospital Gombe says it remains committed to supporting those in need through the pre-dialysis sessions, the hospital is however urging communities to address the root causes of kidney diseases and take a more proactive approach to their health.
Surely now in the last 5 months, was it 5 months or 6 months, we have dialyzed more than 600. We had on our record more than 600 sessions of dialysis, courtesy of Honorable Osun Bello Kumo. And at the same time also, that is going to continue through this year. Also is putting a number of strategies for this to continue, because you cannot imagine the suffering of any family that were tested in that aspect of life.
FTH Gombe was not among the federal health institutions chosen by President Tinubu to offer dialysis at subsidized rate. However, for those in need of dialysis, the hospital remains a beacon of hope, offering critical care without financial strain on patients. Hassan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Over in Adamawa State, the government has commended the Justice Development and Peace Commission of the Maiduguri Diocese for its life-changing water supply interventions in the northern zone of the state. For communities devastated by the 2014 insurgency, access to clean water remains a crucial part of rebuilding their lives. The JDPC's efforts have provided a lifeline to these areas, ensuring a sustainable water supply and empowering residents. Gibson Swadiko reports.
This is Fadamareke, a community in Adamawa State situated in Nigeria's northeastern region, one of many areas deeply scared by the 2014 insurgency. Years later, both the residents and the government are still working tirelessly to restore lost infrastructure and rebuild their way of life. A borehole, once the primary water source for Fadamareke and neighboring settlements, was reportedly damaged by insurgents during the occupation of northern Adamawa. This left residents struggling to access clean water, increasing their hardship. Recognizing the dire need, the Justice Development and Peace Commission, Maiduguri Diocese, stepped in to provide relief. Through its intervention, the organization has drilled 8 solar-powered boreholes in Fadamariki alone as part of a broader effort to cover 20 communities.
The motive behind this, the commission of this borehole, is to improve access to clean water in this community, as well as to promote sustainability within this community.
The Adamawa State government, through its Ministry of Water Resources, has acknowledged JDPC's contribution to improving water supply in the region.
A very welcome development, and we really appreciate JDPC for this milestone.
Grateful community members highlighted the struggles they faced before the intervention, citing severe health issues and even loss of life due to contaminated water sources.
It's far better than to go to the river and fetch water as a cow is drinking, and even the dogs are going there, washing clothes, dirty all over. But now we have safe water. We can take as much as we want, and we are going to maintain this what you teach us, so that our continue to survive.
Beyond water provision, JDPC Maiduguri Diocese has also trained local women as nutritionists to combat acute malnutrition and promote self-reliance through small-scale businesses. To ensure sustainability, the organization has equipped communities with tools for borehole maintenance, ensuring long-term access to clean water. For the people of Fadamariki and other benefiting communities, JDPC's intervention is not just about water. It is about restoring dignity, health, and hope for the future. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Over in Kano State, health experts have warned Nigerians against consuming improperly stored soft drinks. These products, they say, can cause serious health risks when not properly handled, even if they are registered. Here's more in this report.
As temperatures rise between 32 and 39 degrees Celsius on some days, plastic containers filled with soft drinks are left exposed on roadsides. The varying volume of contents in these bottles highlights why such drinks should ideally be stored between 10 degrees and 15 degrees Celsius to maintain their quality. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control NAFDAC's Deputy Director Alice Atta sheds more light on the situation.
If you look at a product registered by NAFDAC, you see that there's label, isn't it? Labeling process. And you see the date markings there and everything. And then there is storage condition. You see some people, even the registered one that is certified, they expose it in the sun, keep it in a temperature that is not conducive, and then the thing, there may be reaction, it may turn to another thing, or the nutritive value of it will go away. So storage condition is key.
During Ramadan, the demand for various types of soft drinks increases. Sellers insist that the powdered form of drinks they sell are properly registered and safe. We only buy properly registered products. We check NAFDAC numbers and expiration dates when purchasing, and we believe they are safe. People prefer them because they are more affordable. While registered products seem safe, improper storage and handling can significantly compromise their quality. However, nutritionist Awalu Muhammad argues that synthetic composition of these drinks makes them far less beneficial compared to fresh alternatives.
You are to take about 200 bottles. If you drink 200 bottles, you are able to get one big size of orange. You know, that's the recommendation we found in the laboratory. Because the small orange, it can give you the micrograms of vitamin B complex, including the thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, pyridoxine, pentatonic acid, and cobalamin. As well as the one big size of orange, it will give you the adequate amount you need per day of vitamin C. You know, as well as the vitamin D and vitamin K. So, but in these synthetic drinkable beverages, actually it's made of flavor.
And sometimes some of these people misconcentrate in water. You understand? And the concentrate may be registered, but where they store it, maybe under the sun, and the poor handling can cause problem. So you don't buy your soft drink from where it is not properly stored. When you look at a registered soft drink, you see that it will be specified store under such and such condition. You're buying it to check, and it's not under that condition, or literally you are seeing it under the sun.
Yes.
You shouldn't consume. You shouldn't buy.
Ultimately, consumers must make informed choices and ensure they purchase from trusted sources to safeguard their health. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Still on health-related matters, as efforts to mitigate the spread of fake drugs and other unwholesome products in the country, residents of Lagos State have called for the death penalty for peddlers of fake drugs. They spoke to Trust TV's Victoria, who reports that beyond the death penalty, they also want the government to ensure proper monitoring by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. Her report is presented from our studio.
Some of the major causes of widespread drug counterfeiting in the country today is greed and corruption, according to stakeholders who also attribute same to lack of jobs for youths. The government, according to many, have failed in ensuring effective monitoring and regulation of the pharmaceutical industry. They believe that implementing strict measures will help curb the spread of counterfeit drugs.
Everything has to come from the top, because these fake drugs we are saying, at least the police people, the custom people, they are on the road. Where does this fake drugs pass through into the market before they will now say there's fake drugs, So I don't really know why, because nowadays they say there's fake drugs here and there, everything. But to eradicate this thing, they have to search maybe the companies that make those drugs.
My own opinion is that anywhere they see maybe fake drug or bad one that's not good for our health, they should just close the environment, because if they do so, our life now matters. So my opinion, just discharge them, may they close the company, something like that.
However, Lagos residents are calling for death sentence and life imprisonment for anyone caught with counterfeit drugs.
That matter is a very big issue. This country needs someone that will be very, very strong in power to hold those people. Anyone they caught is either life imprisonment or death sentences. That is my final judgment.
Just like Dora Akuluyi then, she did very well. And at the end of the day, we all enjoy what that woman did. If we have people like that in NAFDAC that can monitor people, that can monitor all these importers, that can monitor all these manufacturers of drugs, we will save the life of many Nigerians.
Addressing the root cause of counterfeit drugs in Nigeria requires proper monitoring and enforcement from the government.
Business, foreign sports will return. Please just stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get to business. About 1.7 trillion naira in revenue by the Federal Account Allocation Committee (FAC) has been shared by the federal, state, and local governments in February 2025. The statement by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Bawa Mokwa, on Saturday said the revenue was shared at the March 2025 FAC meeting held in Abuja. The meeting was chaired by the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, and attended by the Accountant General of the Federation, Shamsildeen Ogunjimi. The total distributable revenue of 1.678 trillion naira comprised distributable statutory revenue of 827.633 billion naira, distributable value-added tax revenue of 609 billion naira, electronic money transfer levy revenue of 35.171 billion naira, solid minerals revenue of 28.218 billion naira, and augmentation of 178 billion naira. According to a communique issued by the Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAC), total gross revenue of 2.344 trillion naira was available in the month of February, adding that the total deduction for cost of collection was 89.092 billion naira, while total transfers, interventions, refunds, and savings were 577.097 billion naira. Over in Sudan, the military on Saturday said it has seized several key buildings in central Khartoum, including the central bank, from the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF followed its recapture of the presidential palace. Army spokesman Nabil Abdullah, in a statement, listed the buildings recaptured, including the central bank. The army and allied armed groups retook the presidential palace on Friday from the RSF, which retaliated with a drone strike that killed 3 journalists and several army personnel. Army sources said on Friday that RSF fighters had fled into buildings in Al Mogran, an area just west of the palace, housing banks and business headquarters. The paramilitary forces had posted snipers in the district's high-rises, which overlook both Omdurman across the Nile River and the ministries of central Khartoum. The battle for Khartoum's government and financial district could solidify the military's hold on the capital, providing a significant advantage in the country's devastating 2-year war. Rwanda-backed M23 rebels staging an offensive in East Congo on Saturday said they would withdraw forces from the seized town of Walikale in support of peace efforts, having previously said they were leaving troops there as they pushed onto the capital. The government said it hoped the move would be translated into concrete action after M23 this week pulled out of planned talks with Congolese authorities at the last minute due to EU sanctions on some of its leaders and Rwandan officials. It would have been their first direct engagement with Congo's government after President Felix Tshisekedi reversed his long-standing refusal to speak to the rebels. The Congo River Alliance, which includes M23, said in a statement on Saturday that it had decided to reposition its forces from Walikale and surrounding areas that M23 took control of this week. This decision was in line with the ceasefire declared in February and in support of peace initiatives, it said in a statement that was greeted with skepticism by army officers. It's time for sports with Adini Ajishafe.
The Super Eagles have arrived in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State ahead of their second World Cup qualifier against Zimbabwe. The Nigerian national team landed at the Victor Acta International Airport, Uyo, on Saturday from Kigali. The Super Eagles arrived in Nigeria after a successful mission where they defeated Rwanda 2-0 via Victor Osimhen's brace. Also, players and officials of the Zimbabwe national team have touched down in Nigeria ahead of Tuesday's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match. Zimbabwe are currently bottom of Group C with 3 points after 5 fixtures, while Nigeria are 4th with 6 points, behind Rwanda 7 points, Benin Republic with 8 points, and leader South Africa with 10 points. The Eagles are expected to have a training session on 23rd March. And still on football, the Nigerian Premier Football League NPFL has scheduled all match day 31 fixtures. The fixtures, which were initially scheduled to take place on the weekend of 29th and 30th March, will now be played on Wednesday 26th March and 27th March across all venues. The postponement is due to the upcoming Salah celebrations next weekend. The standard fixture for the week will involve NPFL League leaders Remo Stars and the nighttime champions Eyimba at Remo Stars Stadium in Ikene. Remo Stars are pushing for their 4th league title in history. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
That concludes News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of the news, sports, documentaries and programs, follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Chiamaka Nwafor. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.